For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod driveline components under the leadership of Top Fuel Funny Car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, we are on location at BURNYZZ Speed Shop in Orlando, Florida for the first FanFest of 2024, the Mission Foods Drag Racing Series era. My name is Joe Castello with our host, Brittany Hart. Brittany, second time to BURNYZZ. Last year was amazing. How are you feeling right now knowing that like every star in drag racing, including John Force, including Big Daddy Don Garlitz, is going to be like right here minutes from now?
I think it's going to be amazing. I'm hoping our turnout is as great as it was last year with the car show part. I know that we'll have plenty of spectators here for the autographs. So
yes, well, I told everybody on the show last week that when you decided you're going to do a fan fest last year, hopefully everybody figured out like Josh is your husband. You're the leader of the family. Then, let's be honest, right?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And Elon, who put this thing together, Elon from Drag Race Bracket Banana, he's like, we got to get Brittany out there a little bit. Do you like the idea of being out there a little bit?
No, not really.
Why is that?
I'm a more of a behind the scenes type of girl. Like I'm okay, doing everything behind the scenes, making sure everything happens right. I don't need the recognition.
That's what Josh is for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but you know what, though? We're all friends here. And that's the way I look at all my listeners, is that we're just kind of a group of drag racing nuts. And we get together, once or twice a week to talk drag racing. So I appreciate you joining us on the show. And more importantly, hosting this deal. When I heard it was going to be at BURNYZZ a year ago, admittedly a little skeptical, right? Like it's an hour from the track. It's in Ocala. What could it be? I had never seen the place, only pictures.
Yeah.
But then when I came in and saw what you did, was blown away. And so I'm hoping that people that are on their way here right now, what's the address here, Brittany?
1 Aspen Road.
1 Aspen Road. And it is just miles from Garlitz, but a little more, we're east from Garlitz? I don't even know. Northeast from Garlitz. But I got off at the Garlitz exit.
Yeah.
Coming from the south to the north. So if you're out there, you've got plenty of time to get here. This thing starts at 6. So we got a half hour or so, but autographs are 7 to 8. We got a power hour of autographs from 7 to 8. And look, we've even got a second view, which this is amazing. We've got a second view, Brittany. Like, look at all the cars and stuff. This is your day job.
Yeah.
You come here every day?
Every day.
What's that like?
It's pretty normal for me now. But there are moments still, we'll pull up to work and I'm like, Josh, can you believe it? This is ours, because we didn't start with all of this. We started with a pickup truck with, mobile detailing. We had a plastic container in the back. We hauled water around, like we literally didn't have all of this. So to see what it's become is truly amazing.
Anything's possible.
This is true.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you and Josh, I don't want to get too personal, but I think it's important to understand that you have been in this together since the very beginning, and that origin story, like going door to door. Josh has told me, going door to door, like, can I detail your car?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. We found our first business card the other day, and it was almost embarrassing a little bit, because we like literally drew it on paint, on your computer, the paint program.
Sure.
And we were just laughing, but it's so great, and the memories we've made, and it just allows you to appreciate what you have now even more, because you've worked so hard to have it, that you truly appreciate it even more.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's a great lesson. That's very drag racing. So, again, don't want to get too personal, but Josh isn't going to answer these questions, and I'm not going to do this to poor Josh, but I'll do it to you, right? Like, we want to know exactly how this started. How did it start? You guys were like high school sweethearts, or what's the story? How'd you meet Josh?
Yeah, so basically, you know, like I was working at Applebee's and Josh came in and we were young. I was 17, he was 19. And
Kids,
yeah,
crazy kids.
Yes, we just started dating from there. Yeah.
Did you like racing? Did you like cars? Were you into any of that?
No, not really. He always, you know, had a love for it. But me, not so much. It was just
right.
Yeah.
But he liked it, and so you liked it. And now you've grown to like it, to love it.
Yes. I truly enjoy the classic cars. Drag racing is something new to me. You know, when he started doing it, I had never been prior. So it was a really cool experience, and now I love it. You know, when we were on A field, like I would look forward to it, but not for the racing, but for the people. You know, the people in the pits, not only the people that you know, but the people that you don't know that you meet along the way. That is one of the coolest things about NHRA.
That's why I love it too, and the cars.
Yes.
So when your husband said, "Hey, this is what I want to do with it. This is what I want to go 330 miles an hour. I want to go top fuel racing. This is what's possible, Brittany."
Yeah.
Were you like all in, or were you like, "Hey, maybe not"?
So to be honest with you, I think of like the financial end. You know.
Okay.
So
Sure.
that was the part that concerned me. You know, just making sure we had sponsors, making sure that we could do it, you know, without hurting ourselves or anything along
Sure.
the way.
It could be irresponsible.
Yeah.
That story is a real story in drag racing.
Yes. But on the flip side, you know, like personally for his dream, I support anything he'd like to do. You know, like if he said he wanted to go to the moon, I'd be like, okay, trying to figure out how to make it happen. You know, like
Becoming more and more possible every day. By
this
the
is
way.
true.
Yeah.
But he just, I think we're great in that aspect. Like we're really big about supporting each other's dreams to the fullest.
That is tremendous. That is tremendous. Okay, so tell me a little bit about BURNYZZ as the line is beginning to queue up, guys, and we can see, and I got the chat section out there. I wanted to see. We got people out there. They can see us. We got listeners, Brittany. We got listeners in Australia checking in. We've got people. We want you all to share the show, though, guys. You got to share the show. We're on at an odd time. I need everybody out there to share the show on your social media because it's going to be rocking in here. But what do I need to know about BURNYZZ other than it takes up an entire city block? And there's no joke. Like there's the body shop and the engine shop over there. I saw the big Pontiac logo. I was very envious. We're in the main showroom. We got a Garlett's car here. That Top Fuel car you guys see, it's a Garlett's car. So what is like if you're introducing someone to BURNYZZ, a dignitary, someone from Ocala, like what is your 30-second pitch?
So basically, we say you dream it, we can do it. Our big motto is quality over quantity. So we really pride ourselves on the quality of work that we output. But we can do anything literally you can dream of. We'll try to make it happen as far as like complete restoration of the vehicle to just you come in with your daily car and you need new brakes and rotors, you know, or an oil change. We're here for it. We just got notified today that a gentleman in France bought one of our cars here in the showroom, so that'll be shipping. So we literally ship cars worldwide. We have a full trailer facility, so like if you're in the area looking for a trailer, we can hook you up. So
multiple businesses, including I don't know if people can see it back there. Yeah, there's one of the e-bikes, right?
Yes.
What is it?
Yes.
Bentelli, and I know a couple of people at the track scooting around on those things.
Yes, they're very nice. Yep. So like literally all these little different facets, you know, we can handle. If you need your car detailed, if you don't want to get your car painted, but you want, you know, the paint repolished and, you know, brought back to its original state as much
Your
as we
origin
possibly
story,
can.
the
Yes.
detailing, paint correction,
Yes.
little stuff, big stuff, anything.
Yes, anything.
That is amazing. All right, we don't want to keep you too long. You've already, isn't this great? You've done so well. This is so. We were both nervous, like it wasn't going to work. Technical stuff. It's already been a successful show, Brittany. But a couple more questions just to kind of get the vibe. Like, what's the community think of you guys? You're in Ocala. Ocala, Garlett's was the first thing that happened to Ocala that made me realize that Ocala was even a thing.
Sure.
And this is back in like 1983, 84, and now I do the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame, and it's just amazing. But Ocala is growing a lot.
Ocala is huge. You know, even since we moved here 14 years ago, it's grown tremendously. We take pride in giving back however we can. You know, we feel like we have been very blessed, you know, and we need to give that back in return. So we try to give back as much as we can. We started the car shows originally when we first started working the following year. Every February we did a mural. And I always did charity to donate those funds to. So this car show, all of the funds that we raise from registration, our 50/50, anything like that, will be donated to the Darryl Quinn Foundation.
I noticed that just yesterday, that they're going to donate everything that is raised here. So the car show entries and all of that stuff, it's going to go to the Bonacani, the Darryl Quinn chapter of the Bonacani Fund.
Yes. Yep.
Tremendous.
So, and then we have the food pantry, where we're trying to raise money so we're matching dollar for dollar for the food pantry back in our home state of Indiana. And that's going on, I think, through the end of March.
Excellent. So, okay, now the other half of it, the season. Josh started off like a ball of fire, winning the Gatornationals, winning a couple of races, and then told me on WFO this week that they, got too hot too early, and and went through a little bit of a drought. Let's call it a drought last year. But what's the talk around the house? Feel good about the season?
I hope so. I know that a lot of us are overthinkers.
Yes.
Which tends to be normal, and anything can happen in drag racing. You know that just as well as I do. So, I'm hopeful for a great season. I know they have it in them.
Yeah, well, you got to go for the ride.
Yes.
You just don't know. And in drag racing, you could be racing terrible and be winning, and you could be racing great and losing.
Yes.
Like there's no way.
Yeah.
Brittany, thank you so
so
much. This was so much fun. Well, I know you're hosting, so get out there, have fun. But most importantly, thank you for hosting us here, the NHRA in particular. This is an amazing fan fest, and I know you're welcoming us into your home, and we feel that way, so appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate y'all coming.
There you go. Brittany
you.
Hart with us here on WFO Radio. Amazing stuff, Brittany, doing a great job. And we're just getting started, right? And I'm getting phone calls and people are texting me, and I think to myself, like, oh, man, if I'm getting phone calls and people are texting me, that means we're off the air. That means there's some sort of a technical difficulty. But that's not what it means at all. We're just fine. Look at this. Massachusetts weighing in. Pennsylvania weighing in. Guys, you could be here. You really could be here. Matt Clark, not so much. Turn her microphone up some. Thank you, Randy. Yeah, I did, but maybe not enough. We're hearing it pretty well over here. But thank you for that. Like there's never too much of that. But let's go out to our eye in the sky cam. What do you think of this? Right? You can see everybody is getting ready, and this is the showroom, and we have got a lot going on as the fans are getting queued up here at BURNYZZ Speed Shop. I am super excited for the Amalie Oil NHRA Gatornationals. This is a race that I have been to every year since 1980. Jacob, get in here.
All right.
Every year since 1980. Here, put this one on right here. Let's hope that this is the right one. It is. That's mic 2. Get in here. Put that on. Get geared up. This is how it is, guys. We don't have producers. We got Jacob O'Patterney. Am I saying that right, Jacob?
You sure are, Joe.
O'Patterney, because there's an R in there somewhere.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, not many people can get it right on the first try. So props to you, man.
Thank you very much.
Awesome
I do. I try hard. So you're going to be driving Top Fuel again this year. Leverage Racing. This year, this is everyone's first race of the season. Gatornationals, new thing. But you got some laps in last year. Mm-hmm. I think this is your third year or second year? Third year with the Leverage team occasionally, correct?
Yes. I started in 2022 with them when I made my debut in St. Louis. We made run at night, which was actually my first pass at night driving anything.
Yeah, that's nuts. And I know everybody out there is like, the pipes, Jacob, the pipes. Do you hear yourself? Like you could be doing voiceover work.
I mean, I've received compliments over the years. It's like, dude, you got a radio voice. So I'm like, I do. It's like, oh, hang on, let me try it. Now we're back on US 99.5.
Yeah, like with minus that, you definitely like a little pukey there. But we'll get you to do like a WFO liner before this interview is over, and we'll pull it. But okay, who are you? How'd you get here? People want to know. We get to hear your name a couple times, couple seconds up there, but you are just a hard-working dude that wants to run Top Fuel, and you have gotten so far along already. I want to see you go all the way, but give us your origin story. How'd you get to this point?
My origin story started when my father and my uncle took me to my first drag race when I was about 7 years old at Route 66 Raceway back in 2001. And I was there, with my cousin Mike's or my uncle Mike's kid too.
How old is this?
I was 7 at the
Okay,
time.
7-year-old. That's pretty much how old I was
Mhm.
when I came to the Gatornationals in 1980. 7 years old. I was born in 73. That's a good year. Like a lot of people bring these little tiny infants, and I understand if you work at the track, but it can be loud.
Yeah, all day, watching the super stockers go, watching the alcohol cars go, and then the nitro cars come around. And it was, according to how my father told me the story, there was only it was a single, top fuel car going down the track. And as soon as that thing went down the track, it was like I was hooked. Right then, right there, I made the decision. I want to do that. No matter what it takes to get there, I want to do that.
Wow.
And had a one-track mind ever since, never stopped thinking about it. Thought about it every day from there on out. And over the years, saved my money and kind of planned watching the sport. And after paying attention to it after so many years, 2020, 2021 came around. I was like, now's the time for me to make my move to try to get into this thing. And, after taking the Frank Hawley Super Comp program and then trying out his alcohol car, I got my license in 2021 after the 4 wides in Vegas, driving Del Worsham's car. Got my license done in 3 runs and in a single testing session. And that's a true testament to Del, his team, and his equipment, because, they gave me a car that could not fail, and it was an awesome car to learn how to drive top fuel in. So that's amazing. Still to this day, I give them a massive shout out for helping me get to this point, and that's a true testament to that man and his team.
I love Del. Del is great. Del and his dad, of course, doing a great job. And I just this is the first of 5,000 references over the course of the year. But I just went 184 miles an hour a couple of weeks ago, my first, my personal best. And it made me immediately think about anyone that's going 300 miles an hour and how just outer space that sounds. And so for you to go from Frank Hawley's Super Comp School to Frank Hawley's Top Alcohol Drag School, and Frank's sponsor, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, we've been telling people the story of them for many years, and then to Del's Top Fueler in that order, nothing in between.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, nothing in between. I never raced juniors growing up. I never did Super Comp growing up, or in my early 20s or anything. It's because my parents weren't in racing, my grandparents worked in it, so no family history in racing whatsoever. I just decided to branch off and try it. You only live once, so you might as well go for it.
This was a YOLO thing.
Sure was. And to help me get to that point, I can't forget to mention Jeff Arendt too, because he did a lot to help me get ready to make those first few hits in the car. And, I couldn't have done it without him and Del. Jeff, he took me to the line, and I remember him telling me in Vegas where, because we just spent about 10 minutes just staring down the track. And I remember him telling me, it's like, you see those timing blocks, pay really close attention to where those are. It's because it was one thing, in Frank's alcohol car, you could, you saw each one creeping up on you, but the top fuel car plays different mind games with you. And I remember, I tell the story to some of my friends sometimes, and it's like those timing blocks come at you a lot faster than you think they will. If you're not paying attention, you'll be like, was that the 330 or the 660, or was the 660 the 1,000 foot? It happens so much faster than anything else. And I remember what I felt the first time when I got in the car, and made a hit in the top fuel car was I was instantly disillusioned, and because it was that much different than everything else.
Right. Well, I can now relate to the idea of learning, though, because on my second run, I felt better than my first run, but it does seem like outer space, thinking about you guys doing that. All right, but you're a working guy. You have a job. What do you do?
I'm an operating engineer through the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150. I remember you and Al were talking them up a little bit in the booth last year when I was making a run with Keith Mert last year during qualifying. Thank you very much for that.
Well, you're welcome. No, these guys are hardworking guys. They got a union. They're go out and operating engineer, meaning heavy equipment.
Yes.
Heavy equipment, like what kind do you use? Because everybody, top fuel dragster, heavy equipment, like the things that guys aspire to do.
Yeah, my day job, the last thing I was running was what's called a hydro excavator. Have you ever heard of one of those?
No.
Or a Vector truck? Basically, it's a giant vacuum cleaner with a big water pump attached to it. So think about a pressure washer with a vacuum on it.
Okay.
That's the easiest way for me to describe it. And what we do is we go and expose utilities like pipelines, fiber optics, electrical lines, stuff like that. And we dig the ground and expose these utilities without having to use like a bucket or any sharp, solid object that could puncture or damage these utilities.
That makes a lot of sense. And then causing power outages, problems, more money, more damage.
Yep.
Okay, Leverage Racing. We know those guys. They are legendary. They are like old school Michigan top fuel. And you got together with them, and we've had some friends of WFO that have driven for them, and everybody has great things to say about their team. They're old school. They got a big milestone this year. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about what you guys for Leverage Racing got planned for the Gatornationals.
We got planned for the Gatornationals is we're going to enter the 2024 season with a paint scheme, which is a tribute to Bob Leverage's tribute car, which is a tribute to Bob Leverage's junior fuel car from the 1960s. It's a tri-coat vintage red, and we're going to use that weekend as it's a monument to him, and it's in us honoring his legacy, for helping the team. It's his founding father, the founding father, and so on and so forth. Sorry, I'm stuttering.
You're not stuttering. You're doing great. This is fantastic. And I'm looking around. The crowd is coming in. Are you gonna let them warm up the car? Like, what's the plan? Like, you were telling me a little bit outside that you've got a couple of big things. Maybe our friends at NHRA on Fox might like to know about. Certainly the NHRA social media team. Maybe they're even out there right now. We would not have time to go in depth. What do you have planned? Or is this like a secret that I was not supposed to reveal? Well, if that's the case, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I wanted to run that by you. It's because, you were the first person to think about me reaching out to ask about this inquiry. But I would, like to talk to, I talked to Gary about it before, and, ran it by Bob a little bit. So, I'm going to talk to him, and see if he wants to warm up the car, while we're down there, to help kick off 65 years of Leverage Racing. Because, to me, for my idea, that just seems like the right thing to do. Show Bob some love and get some good footage of him warming up a top fuel car, on the 65th anniversary of the Leverage Racing team.
I love it, Jacob. All right, final thought. What is the, where's Jacob in 2 years if everything goes exactly according to plan?
That's God's plan, man. I'm here just running one race at a time on my part-time schedule, just trying to, find the right sponsors along the way and meet the right people. And, we'll see what his plan is for me in those 2 years. But, in 2 years, if it's, running 3 to 5 races a year, like I, currently am, pledging to do, I'd be just fine with that. Or if I do come into more funding and, a good sponsor where I can increase my part-time schedule, from maybe 5 races to 10, that would be awesome too. But, that's up to the Lord. So I'm just going to keep trying and keep pushing.
Prove you can drive, right? Like, you go out there, be responsible, do the right thing, prove you can drive, and then you never know what kind of opportunity will come your way. Jacob, thank you for joining us on the show. Really appreciate it. Go sign some autographs, have fun. But before you go, listen, I want you to listen to something, okay? And then I want you to do the same thing, all right? So listen to this. First of all, everybody knows this. This is our audio logo.
This is WFO Radio.
WFO Radio in a big dramatic way. That's my buddy Mitch Phillips. He's done, Papa's in the house for Papa John, highly paid voiceover guy, did it for me. Let's hear the Jacob version. This is WFO Radio.
This is WFO.
Amazing. That is great stuff. Look, we got that. We're going to pull the clip. Jacob, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me on the show, Joe. I appreciate it.
No, thank you so much. Thank you. So anybody drive Top Fuel coming out here trying to help out the NHRA, I'm trying to help them out. That is the plan. Jacob, you on social? You got social media? I was going to ask you that.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me. I can hear you.
Jake O'Patterney on Facebook and Nitro Jake TF on Instagram.
There you go. Nitro Jake TF on Instagram. How about it? Look at all those people out there watching. We're WFO. We're at an unusual time, and yet we've got a big audience building out there, and we're just getting started. Now, we're not going to go for like hours and hours here tonight because I'm also the MC of the event. But we're going to have a good time once it gets started. And the autograph session is from 7 to 8. This thing will be going to 9. There's music. There's a band called Torrence out there that is like Alice in Chains, covers, all of that stuff. So many amazing cars. The night, what is it? 2000? Kit's here, man. Kit from, Michael Knight. Like, I can't remember the name of the show. Let's see what everybody's got going on out there. Knight Rider. There it is. Jeff Rice, who is out there. Jeff Rice is here with his Studebaker, and he has the best spot ever. The best spot ever. Everybody is checking out, saying what's up. This person is just spamming me. That is fine. Chris Ramo saying what's up to Jake.
Yeah, they're saying that they'll have the email address.
Northern Oregon, checking in. Everybody saying WFO. Now, I want everybody to subscribe and click the bell, please. Subscribe, click the bell, WFO Radio. And we got this great mobile application that is going to sunset. And I need everybody to click notifications on our YouTube channel. And I also want to let everybody know a little piece of news, some information. Everybody's growing. You know, if you're not growing, you're shrinking. And so we are now available on PowerTube TV on your Roku and Apple and Samsung and all of those different streamers. PowerTube TV. And we've got a lot of great content on there. All the old Pink's shows, Pastime. Clay Milliken's got some stuff on there too. PowerTube TV. So if you want to watch a little more WFO content, this week we had Josh Hart, we had Paul Lee, we have Alan Reinhart each week. It is great stuff. Check us out on PowerTube TV. And if you have questions, Jeff, look, Jeff, he's got the beautiful Studebaker out there. He is out there watching. And what I'm thinking is that we're going to go take a wander around. Like, we've already got the second camera setting up. You can see that people are getting ready. We're not quite to that point yet. I would like to get to a point in this show where I can show you this camera angle and have there be some celebrity drivers, and that's when it'll be like over with. Dylan wants to know, what are my Gatornationals predictions? What are my Gatornationals predictions? And Elon is over there. Elon, round me up another guest, please. Look at that. Chop, chop. Let's do it. Right, look at this. Look at this. But what are my Gatornationals predictions? Man, I'm hoping for a great and safe race. I don't need to predict anything, but I'm very excited about what we will potentially see in terms of speeds, in terms of performances. You can see the showroom here at BURNYZZ Speed Shop is just tremendous. Everybody is getting ready and getting in and getting fired up, and you can see it's going to be a magical day. And here is the guy who makes it possible, Mr. Josh Hart. Josh, you are the luckiest man in the world, my man. You know that?
There's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, but I mean, we just met and hung out with Brittany for a while.
She is awesome.
Yeah.
And that's not understatement.
No.
She literally is awesome.
Well, I think, at the races, we don't really get a lot of time to really get to know someone. We just spent 10 minutes with Brittany, and she told us your whole origin story and how you guys met and all that stuff. And just so exciting that you guys get to spend your lives together working with and on something that you're passionate about. Cars, classic cars. She's into the classic cars. You love the drag racing. She's like, that's everybody's dream.
True story. And she's pretty.
There's that. That's part of it. And do you have any interest in going to the moon?
I would say probably, yeah.
Because she said that she'd help you get there if you decided that was for you, that she's going to support you in whatever you want to do.
I believe that is right.
There it is.
So, yeah, we've got a great foundation. We've been together 21 years. At this point, we don't really know anything else. So all the ups and downs and all arounds and everything in between, it's us.
Tremendous. Saw little Banks earlier as well. He's growing up fast.
Yeah, he's going to catch his sister real quick, and we're going to immediately put him on payroll for security.
That's it. I like it. He was like, I don't want to say he was crying, but he was a little agitated. And then I said, "Hey, Banks," and he's like, "Who is this guy? How does he know me?" Except I know him from the social media. So how are you feeling right now? Like, you have I'm about to have a big blowout party, and I hope everybody shows up nervousness going on?
Joe, I think you should know by now that this is me all the time.
Yeah.
We got an army of amazing people around us, and I mean that again quite literally. So I don't worry too much. The race team does a fabulous job. Same thing with BURNYZZ. We've been fighting the best of the best. They've been through this dog and pony show before, and they always do.
I love it. No, I love it.
As usual.
Well, that's great. That's a great attitude. The high's not too high and the low's not too low. But keep it in the middle. But you're a drummer, though, man. Like, there's got to be some rage in there.
That is true. I don't think most people would appreciate my type of music. Really not so nice.
Oh.
It's not about the lyrics, maybe, but the drums are just epic. So that's where I vent.
We've got a band here. Torn, the gentleman was out there. We stopped by. We had a nice conversation, and he, Alice in Chains covers, all that kind of stuff. So Pantera, there's a lot of that makes sense. It's the quiet guys they've got. You got to let the energy out somehow.
You have no idea. If I acted out on my emotions, I don't think anybody would.
That's not true.
But it's definitely all in there.
Are we going to get to see you play the drums somewhere?
I think that'd be cool.
Like down the road? Okay. Because Eddie Boyer and Sammy Eubanks jammed a little bit in Vegas 2 years ago. And, every once in a while there's a drum kit out there. I think I would like to see you go for it. All right. So somebody out there, make that happen. And I'll tell Josh and then we'll do it. Simple as that. All right. So we just spoke yesterday on WFO Radio. You were out at the track. You had plans to make some runs. Didn't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Mother Nature had other plans, which is normal. Today was a bummer, but I understand it. Track crap, the way those guys do, they're out there killing themselves, and I know it's frustrating for all of us as team owners and all the effort that it takes to get them out there. It's like you just sit there for 5 minutes and watch them break out their necks trying to get it back to where it needs to be so they have safety. Racetrack. It's a Herculean effort, and those guys just don't get it. So I watched them for 5 minutes, and you're like, I need to be out there.
Grab a scraper. That's what they'll tell you. Grab a scraper. And the unheralded, uncelebrated people, the NHRA Safety Safari. We're going to say it 1,000 times over the course of the 2024 Mission Foods season. But you said it. It can't be overstated. They're there first. They stay last. They're covered in filth. It's hot. It's gross. And they're doing, they're doing it for the love. They love it.
Again, the amount of effort you couldn't compensate.
Right.
It's definitely for the love of the sport. We appreciate that. I know that today was an educated decision to make it as safe as possible.
Well, it's good that you got all those test runs in down at Bradenton to work out the new fuel system and all parts and pieces. So going into Q1 on Friday, let's change the vibe here. His audio is not working. I'm hearing him. I'm here. Well, let's try here. Keep going, Josh. Let's hear. There it is. You sound the same to me. I don't know. But let's talk about Q1. How do you handle that situation?
Well, we're going to go out there and try to kill it, just like every other time. Most of the old stuff has been retired. We've got a lot of new stuff in the car.
Yeah.
I feel like we were constantly a tenth behind most people last year. We just can't make that up anymore. So this year we've got the right pieces in the right places, and I have all the confidence in the world that this is leadership.
Tell me about that guy, because you said early on that the longer he stays, he's like getting equity in the team. I felt like years ago that he was one of those kind of under the radar talents, and you scooped him up and he went out and delivered the big Gatornationals. Like, you guys have won together already in a young career.
Yeah, I mean, we have the same demeanor. Not really in it just for like, hey, we want the results to speak for themselves. And that's what we're doing next. So I think it'll be a great long-term deal for him to we'll just see what it needs to happen. It's definitely going to be a learning curve. I think it will be for a lot of teams. I'm anxious to see who's going to learn the quickest.
Because we got a new chassis spec, so the cars are, as I understand it, a little more rigid and a little heavier. So like the book from 23 may not work. Okay. Yeah.
For us, anyways.
Interesting. That's interesting. Mission Foods coming on board. I'm excited. I can't be too excited about that because they fell in love with the sport. We've got all these different specialty races. Pep Boys All-Star Call Out. You won last year. You walked out of the Gators with like a big check. That had to feel pretty good. You get to do that again, but you're not in a position where you could call someone out. You're going to be maybe called out. Okay, so what I was trying to get at, if there's 7 people around in me, and I'm the one who gets picked, I will be annoyed. I would feel a little like, what? You think you could beat me? What? I'm the guy. But drivers, whenever I ask that question, and maybe that's the reason I'm not a driver, maybe that's the reason, is because I would get annoyed, and drivers say, no, I wouldn't get annoyed. It's not a big deal. It's just like the way it is. But are they telling the truth?
Yeah, I mean, last year, Austin and I kind of sat back and laughed about it. I was like, hey, we're the last to get picked. That's because they don't know. Ultimately, everybody gets picked, so you just have to accept it.
There it is. Get after it. Josh, thank you very much. I know you got a lot going on, so we'll let you go. Thank you very much for joining us here on WFO Radio. Live from BURNYZZ. This guy says still he cannot hear Josh. I don't understand why. I could hear him just fine. We're talking. We're having a great time. Great conversation. Great combo. Heard he's on the same mic as Brittany. But we'll have to go back and do like a little audio correction or something as we continue on from BURNYZZ. You guys hear me though, right? Like, we're going out. Everybody is talking about what's going on. Yeah, look at this. Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. Let me tell you about this. Scan this to sign up and join the WFO Radio League. Sign and join the WFO Radio League. We would love to see you on in our league as we continue on. Yeah, but Matt heard it. That's like, low audio and no audio are two different things. But hey, let's see what's going on out there. Check out all these fans that are wandering about. There's a huge car show outside. And the drivers are going to be coming in. What time is it? 6:06. How have we been going for a half hour already here on WFO Radio on location? Fans getting here early. You got to get here early. All right, so let's go class by class and talk a little bit about it. Top Fuel, I think, is going to be amazing in that you've got Doug Coletta. I think when you're the champ, you earn the headline. What's the headline? Is it Tony Stewart coming in? No, the headline is Doug Coletta, world champion. Coletta Motorsports, Alan Johnson back on top. Remember all of those years that Alan Johnson was the absolute king of Top Fuel crew chiefing, and now he's back. And is it going to be a quick return to the stage to only get bumped back off the top of the mountain, or are they going to stay on top of the mountain? We just talked to Josh a little bit, and he's the new chassis spec, and some things are different. So the book is out the window. Who can adapt? Who can recover? But to me, I'm interested in seeing, now that Doug Coletta has won a championship, has learned how to win a championship, has gotten that frustration off of his back, the way Ron Capps did about winning the U.S. Nationals, the way Ron Capps did about winning a championship. It wasn't that long ago that Ron Capps, and I'm sorry to bring it up, Ron. Sorry to bring it up. But you went through the experience, and then you ripped off a bunch more wins and Indy and the championships and all of those things. There's something about it, and I'm expecting Doug Coletta to have a big season. The Tony Stewart story, I think, is a big number 2 for me. Honestly, how will he do? How will he do? It's a 330-mile-per-hour Top Fuel dragster. Is he going to be able to control the car? I think yes. I think all of those things. I was having a conversation. Someone was suggesting that Tony has said that he wasn't ready early on, and he said that. But I'm thinking Tony is lowering our expectations a little bit too. I feel like Tony Stewart is going to adapt to Top Fuel, and everyone that I've spoken with, in particular the McPhillips family, have told me his driving style is as good as anybody that they've worked with or dealt with. So I'm expecting a big season out of Tony Stewart. Is he going to win the Gatornationals? Is he going to win his first race? I don't know. Josh Hart did. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Then you've got some stories like Brittany Force coming in off. Remember, it was a title defense season for Brittany, and she did not win a race. So you can't look back. If you're Brittany Force in that team, you can't look back at 2023 and say, we had a great year. You just can't. You have to look back on it and say, we need to get better. It depends on how critical you want to be about the deal. How critical do you want to be on yourself, how critical do you want to be on any team that's out here going 330 miles an hour in the NHRA? If you want to be really critical, they had a terrible year. If you want to be slightly apologetic and understand that it's very difficult and challenging, you can say they've got to get better. They've got to get better. They can't have another no-win season. Nobody wants that. Of course, Steve Torrence, the champ. I've also got my eye on Sean Langdon. I think Sean Langdon is going to really benefit from the sorting that has happened at Coletto Motorsports. Brian Hewson going over there. He's been Alan's right-hand man. They're going to run the cars as close as possible. Sean Langdon, I don't want to say he's been a frustrated driver, but this is a guy who's used to winning. And I think he's going to get back to it. So we will see. Let's see. Coletto may repeat as champion. Go TSR. This guy says blah, blah, blah. He doesn't like any of that stuff. That's fine. Funny car champ, I can't predict yet. Well, I don't think anyone can. Funny car is too wide open a category. You've had the big 3, and then you had the big 4, and now this year you could end up with the big 5 or 6. If Daniel Wilkerson and J.R. Todd are able to join the big 4, then you got the big 6, and then we really have to stop saying the big anything, because that's just a large percentage of the field. Look who is joining. Look who's coming in here. We'll see. You'll be able to hear this guy, or maybe not. Maybe it'll be official mic tester. Mr. Alan Reinhart, who joins me on a regular basis.
Today I'm Brian Lones. I'm being incognito.
Do you know the deal with Brian? Do you understand? Like, he was supposed to be here, and then he got the day wrong. He told everybody the wrong day, and then he thought it was the wrong day, and then he thought he had booked something on this day, but then he didn't. He's like, he's going to come. Do you know any of that story?
No, I don't. But does that mean that you're getting Brian Lones Superstar TV?
The check?
Fox guy pay rate?
I'd retire.
I'm thinking.
That's it. I'd just retire.
2 gigs and go pick your favorite 3 cars out of here, and you'd be set.
Yeah. We're making fun of you, Brian. I don't know if you're out there. What's up, Alan?
Somebody will tell.
Can you guys hear Alan Reinhart? Yeah, Matt Clark in Australia says loud and clear.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, if they can hear me from Australia, I might be talking too loud.
That's true. All right, off the top of your head, real quick, which of these cars are you buying?
Buying?
Yeah, like if you gotta buy.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I saw a couple of them outside.
Did you see the red Studebaker right here?
I did see the red Studebaker.
That's Jeff Rice. He's a big WFO.
Really cool.
It's got a supercharger. It's got EFI.
There's a Super B out here too. That's a 440 car. That's pretty cool. If down there, you gotta like take a stroll, because there's I don't know what the official number is, but there's a few hundred cars here, like all over the place. So I walked down and I'm just looking around, and I'm like, what's sticking out of the hood of that thing? There's a Ford truck, like a 70, 234, with a 585-inch twin turbo. It's like a no prep small tire thing. Got turbo sticking up almost halfway up the windshield. It's cool.
Awesome. No, and I will. And once the autograph session gets going and we wrap up WFO. So I was just about to do funny car preseason thoughts, and talked about the big 4 maybe becoming the big 6. Daniel Wilkerson, J.R. Todd. There are more people that, if they get things going in the right direction, we could just have a blowout year where nothing is easily predicted.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. You can say that, right? If they get it going in the right direction. Paul Lee ran very well in preseason testing, and he's got pretty high hopes. If he comes out this weekend and runs like he did then, well, then they're heading west, and if he goes home and has a good outing, then he could. I think by the time we leave Phoenix or Las Vegas, it's not really me. By the time we leave Phoenix, Las Vegas, I think we're going to have a real good idea of where everybody stands, because preseason testing is one thing. We all come here, and if you stub your toe, that doesn't mean the world's over with. If you win the race, that doesn't mean well, put your name on the trophy yet. But let's get 4 races in, and then I think evaluate everybody.
I like that.
There's a lot of guys with a lot of high hopes right now.
I like that. You can't win the championship in the first week. You're just trying to win the Gatornationals, which is a pretty big win.
But I know that, like Dean Antonelli was one of the guys that was very disappointed that Mother Nature, rained on our parade, so to speak, because he's got a brand new car and he's looking to put a couple more runs on that thing and get, he doesn't want to go into Friday, tune-up run, Friday night show-off run. he'd like to have another 3 runs or 4 runs under his belt before then, didn't get them. So, we'll wait and see how that plays out. But there's a few guys that I think are going to be going into, especially Friday, maybe a little hesitant because they're not 100% sure where they are as far as comfort level goes.
So tomorrow, Hardcore Thursday, a day that I love in the NHRA. It's Lucas Oil Series cars only, but team setting up, got the pits to yourself. If you're a race fan, come in there and kind of like get the experience, the calm before the storm, pretty much.
Yeah, and because of the testing that was supposed to take place the last couple of days, because of this event, the pro drivers are here. So, there's a lot of events, 4-day event. You go on Thursday, and, guys like the Torrences, they're not flying in until late Thursday night or maybe Friday morning. Doug Collette's not flying in until late, but because of all of the peripheral stuff.
American Airlines doesn't have a
No,
flight.
Doug doesn't really care about that. But because of all the other stuff that's going on this week, everybody's here. And so if you're out at the track tomorrow, your chances of running into Sean or Leah or Steve or whoever, much higher than it would be on a normal Thursday.
Yeah, it's a great day, Hardcore Thursday. Our first Gatornationals origin stories, we drove up, I don't even remember, it's 1980, but we went to Saturday and Sunday, right? Saturday, Sunday. Like, oh, there's Friday. Like, we should do Friday. Okay, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's a Thursday.
Yeah, but 1980, you were in like junior high, right? So you couldn't take off.
Hey, 7 years old.
Oh,
tiny little child. It was my dad who couldn't take off. He's got his own business and everything.
You were in junior high at 7 years old. What happened after that? The whole Doogie Howser went.
Peaked too early, Alan. Peaked too early. Here now, I get to hang out with you. But then you go to all.
See, kids, that'll teach you.
That'll learn you. There's 4 days of racing. The way to take in this event is to come to all 4 days and make it part of your life. And really, now that this event is occurring, I think the plan for the Gatornationals in the future is land in Orlando on Wednesday, drive to Garlett's, check out the museum, swing over to BURNYZZ, enjoy the FanFest, and then Hardcore Thursday on Gatornationals. I think you've got an itinerary. I should start to travel.
That's a good plan.
Travel.
That's a really good plan.
Where do you fly into?
Gainesville.
Fly into Gainesville? Really? That airport is teeny. Is it grown? Is it bigger? Last time I checked, it was nothing.
Since I got my F-16, I can pretty much fly anywhere. Those things are pretty short takeoff.
Really? Were you inverted?
Not a lot of flights.
All right.
Last flight.
All right. Let's talk pro stock.
Talk pro stock.
Okay, so this is where I'm coming down on. I watched a lot of interviews with Richard Freeman over the course of this winter break. On with Lyle, on with Courtney. Richard Freeman, you're going to have to take it from him. They've got a whole system over there. He said it flat out and open that they, will do what they need to do to win. And if you're not willing to do that, and they are, what are you going to do? Plus, they make great power. They've got a giant brain trust, and they have Erica Enders, Jed Coughlin, and others. So that's really tough. How do you do it? You want to sit down? You can come sit down, Flying Ryan Taylor. You can come sit down. This is not a structured deal.
Wait.
But you got to talk pro stock.
No. I brought this for you. Unless you brought in a popcorn for everybody, you got to leave.
That was for you guys.
Go ahead. Go, yeah.
Diet, man.
Put the mic on first. Nothing you
He
say.
weighs
Nothing you say matters until the mic
He
is
weighs
on.
37 pounds and he's on a diet.
Yeah.
You're on the tequila diet.
Yes. Liquid on.
We're talking pro stock.
Pro stock car.
Yeah, for now. Well, you guys are up next.
Sure.
We're talking about elite and what it's going to take to knock them off the top. Alan, you're about to make a great point.
Well, the bottom line is it's simple. I don't care what anybody else does. If I win, they can't beat me. So that's what you got to do. Dumb luck. Greg Anderson is staying in the same hotel where I am this week. And I bumped into him the other night. I was coming back in from dinner, and he was sitting in the lounge in the hotel. So we went in and had a beer and sat and we talked for about a half an hour. After the last couple of years finishing second, he's very focused, and he's on a mission. I think that, he understands, been doing this for a long time at a very high level. He's not going to do it another 10 years.
Right.
I'm certainly not saying that this is it, but he's not going to do it another 10 years. And he wants more race wins and more championships. Very, very focused. And the reality is, I don't care what you do. If I beat whoever's in the line next to me, I don't care what you do. How many friends you got out there, right?
A lot, I guess, because I got 3 tequila. So,
Oh,
No, that's a different story.
weren't you the guy that said, I got plenty of friends, I didn't come here to make friends?
yeah, I did say that or something. And they just still flocked to me.
Yeah, well, you got tequila.
Yeah.
There's that.
No, I mean, Greg, though, that guy is a dedicated guy. You know, we hear rumors that guy comes to the shop. You know, when he gets there, he's very secretive. You know, my dad is, you know, similar in as you know, we call him that he's doing a full sentence, you know, life sentence in pro stock prison. You know, he just doesn't come out of the dyno cell. And, you know, we're finally, you know, looking to turn the page in our book. That guy right there has got the whole encyclopedia Britannica, you know, all the way down the shelf, and he's got all the different versions of it.
No, but that's something to aspire to. So let's, you know, we can transition to your program because you last year, describe last year.
2 years, just not last year. We had 2 really rough years back to back. And everybody goes, why would you, you know, what are you doing? What are you going to do? It's like, hey, you know, when we were fast, and you asked me in 21, man, you know, how many runs you guys get out of these pro stock markets? I said, right now, somewhere between half and full. Well, that's just a terrible situation. Yes, we were fast. We went runner up in Gainesville. Next race, Vegas won. Went to Atlanta, and it's time. You know, we're going to another semifinal again. And when we left Atlanta, we left with a whole bunch of broken parts in a box, and he about had me in a box. You know, the motor blew up at the finish line. It's not extravagant like a top fuel car with flames and fire, but it's absolutely terrible when the V20 chucks both rods out of the 10,000 RPM finish line. The crankshaft continues to spin at 10,000, and the whole front end of the motorcycle vibrates in several different pieces, trying to handle it all your life. So, I'm all about the adrenaline, the risk take, blah blah blah. But I looked at my dad and said, "Man, we need to do something like this." You know, I've got some PTSD when this thing starts to wind up and we're crossing the back half, and I'm going, "Oh, come on, man, hold it together." So we went looking for reliability. When we went down the wrong path, we got reliability and we lost performance, and then we switched to the Gen 2 program, and we came in and we had to then sort out a garage sale program. And, there's a lot of good pieces there, but it was not a package like I originally wanted. When I originally got in this, I got a back up with price. That was solid. But once you put 5-10 more horse on that particular package, it was not a happy package. It was for reliability. So it took us a while to figure that out. So now we've got our own package. We got our own rotating assembly. We've got our own piston design. We're soon to have our own cylinder head design. We've got an engine dyno cell that's running. My dad's probably ripping it right now. Awesome. Pegged at 10,000 RPM on the super floor. So, this is the reality of what you're going to do in a pro class to achieve, stepping up the ladder. Up against a team like Vance and Hines. They've been doing this forever. And there's nothing I can't personally go after a team that has all the experience, all the resources, and is putting the numbers on them. When it gets to some political type of stuff that may happen out there that comes up in discussions, that's a little bit of a gray area, but hey, we get political too. I could have a lobbyist in the NHRA, but you
got free tequila for people, man. That's like talk
angle.
About.
That's my angle.
It's a great way to look at it. Now, question.
I was just thinking, what part-time lobbyists pay? Because I'm looking for something to fill in gaps.
It just depends on who's on the other side of that lobbyist. I know that this is pro racing.
Yes.
And you have 4 to 5 teams that are building their engines in the pro stock fighting class. We are one of them. We're in charge of our own destiny. Oh, the parts aren't available. They won't sell me this. I'm not asking you to sell me a block of aluminum and allow me to make mine, whatever it is that I want to make, and that's what the reality is here. But you don't have how do you discredit someone that doesn't want to sell you something? Do you think that Greg Anderson wants to sell Elite cylinder head he just worked on for 5 years? Absolutely not.
No, certainly not. But Elite can buy the same raw part and then make it themselves. And as long as everybody's allowed to do that, then I'm good with it.
Sure.
I think that, if you tell me, okay, you're allowed to invent the Reinhart 101 cylinder head that is not a factory part, that has nothing to do with anything else, and nobody else is allowed to make that same part, then I don't think that's fair. I think that as long as, here are the rules, right? You got to have this many valves, this whatever, have at it, and everybody's allowed to do that. Then I think that the only way that you're going to win against water racing is to do your own things, because if I'm racing against you, I will certainly sell you the parts, but I'm not going to let you beat me. And so if you want to beat me, you're going to have to figure out something that I haven't figured out.
When we buy a set of SNS cylinders, they come with no chamber. You want to go valve, you want to go valve seat, you want to go no rocker, partner geometry. It literally does have the pattern to bolt to the cylinder if you want it, and after that, your builder puts it in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
now it's a matter of whether your guy's smarter than their
Sure.
guy. But that's the kind of thing that I think is terrific. And, you know, that you have the ability to do what you can do. And if you can do it better than them, you know, you shouldn't have to take your finished cylinder head and sell it, but somebody else should be allowed to build their own.
Sure. I totally agree with that. And I think that they're probably going to be behind that as well, because the reality of them understanding this class, they're learning this class. They're, you know, I always defend NHRA Tech because this is a motorcycle class, and everyone compares it to pro stock car because they really know that, but it is not pro stock car. It's more like pro mod than anything, minus the power adder, because they're two totally different platforms. One makes 2.6, 2.7 horsepower per cubic inch. One makes 4.2 horsepower per cubic inch. The 4.2 horsepower per cubic inch is like 114 cubic inch motor, you know, and the V twin actually probably has more left on the table. But who has went into a development program with the V-twin? With our V-twin. Vance and Hines had their own V-twin when they were with the Harley program, but they have not taken the SNS program and had someone get behind them with several $1 million and say, hey, in 2 years, I want this to be the fastest V-twin in the world. You know, so that's the most capable team out there. And, you know, we are lucky to be, you know, where we are with our program. And we'll be the guys that at the end of the day, you know, said we wanted a challenge. We got a challenge. We're up against the best of the best. Can we make it happen? We'll find out.
I love it. Have you done any testing? I know you spent a little time down there in Tampa. What was the results? How have you done?
First pass off trailer, quickest I've ever been in my life. Second pass off trailer, quickest I've ever been on my life. 3 in a row.
Wow.
We bagged it and went home.
Tremendous.
So we got the brand new bike. When we ran the brand new bike in Vegas, it was the very first passes. Had a weird vibration, this, that, and another. The tire wadded up, blew the belly pan off the thing. We still went a 690 with a motor when we brought it home. Had big leakage on the front and rear cylinders. So we were like, oh, good potential.
Only on the front and rear?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But then when we cleaned everything up and we went back at it, I was like, hey, this is the point right now where you say, are we running this bike? You know, it's a new bike, and it's not every single pro stock V-twin minus Vance and Hines Harley package was a copy of the original 2004 design. I mean, I do not think someone has went out of the way to outside the box and build something different. We did. That's why it took so long. You know, this is our third or fourth chassis to get to this point, and we're ready to start building a fifth because we got this one all bolted together and ready to go, and we already see a couple things we'd like to change.
We can do this a little better.
So let's build the next one. Let's get on board for working towards next year. But first pass off the trailer went second best 60 foot of my life. Second pass off the trailer, best 60 foot I ever went in my life. And we're almost 20 pounds heavy right now too. So we're in a lightning program. You know, we're trying to get that going. And then as soon as we left, we went 434 at 160 in the 8th on the first pass. We went 433 at 162 on the second pass. And we went 433 at 163 and almost a half on the third pass. Came home. That motor became our base. This is our new baseline on the engine dyno. Put it on the engine dyno. We made 30 less horse on the engine dyno than it made on the chassis dyno. Well, we had to start working on our calibration on our engine dyno. We got a really good calibration going, and then we went after finding some more power because we already had these eggs that we were trying to crack and scramble over here. Now we have our baseline. We walked away with 20 more horse on the engine dyno at that point with our first ever R design. This is 100% our gig now. And now we're hoping to try to see if we can put that to the ground here today at
That's
Gainesville.
exciting. No, it's exciting, but like what I'm getting out of it is like you really got to want to do this. There's a lot that goes into this. That pro racing, a professional drag racing, you're going to go up against Matt Smith. You're going to go up against Vance and Hines. You like really better want to do this.
Yeah, Matt has had his program on point because he's been here since it's damn near been conceived, and then he hires and works with the best people in the world. Every person that we've ever called in this industry, it was like Matt hung up the phone with them 3 days ago, but had already had his plan together, and we were just there hunting, and he's been everywhere, and that guy works his butt off, and he has a hell of a program, and he's got 4 bikes in his camp this weekend. Everyone's like, "You're gonna have a second bike?" I don't want a second bike in my program.
You had a second bike for a while, but you were.
That's not why I had the second bike. We had a second bike out there because it was financially beneficial to the team. But to have a second bike out there like a Gage Herrera set up with with their team and everything they got going on, that's when it really is beneficial for Data. But right now, it's not going to be beneficial to Data until I got all the motors behind me that are perfectly tuned, set up, ready to rock, got the reliability, all that. Then we go out there and we tell our sponsors it's time to do 2 bikes, and let's utilize that data. But we're going to need some funding. So,
and El Bandito, they're all in on it. It seems like they have been very.
El Bandito is very supportive, but they got a lot of faith in me to sell a lot of tequila. And that's what it really comes down to for us is we're out there. We took a full-time position with the company. We're out there working our butts off to put their product on the shelves and in front of the consumers and let them try it and see it for themselves. We were just on vacation in Cabo the other day. I was like, "Oh, how was your vacation?" I was like, "I wore a path through the asphalt, walking back on the phone next to the pool, pacing, just doing my thing, selling and putting out fires." And it's a pain in the butt. It's probably one of the hardest businesses I've been a part of because it has a lot of regulations behind it, and you're growing it from the ground up. Totally different from being in a business. It's like any, I got into heating and cooling. That's my primary business, but I got into a business that was already fully functional. When you're going to start a business from the ground up, like our racing experience business, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. You need to get that in front of people, and you need to get them exposed to it, and you got to work it, and you got to build it, you got to grow it. So, we're now doing it. We've done, NHRA had us at Gainesville a month ago with the racing experience cars. It was awesome. We had the Chamber of Commerce from Gainesville there. We put 80 of them in the passenger seat of the car.
Oh, wow.
They sampled our tequila. They went in the passenger seat of the car. I raced down the racetrack. Sarah, who races alcohol dragster, she was my competitor. We went.
Sarah Allen?
Yep. Side by side.
And the Mustangs that we raced?
40 laps without shutting them off.
No way.
40 in a row.
Wearing them out.
So then when we were all done and everyone thought it was the best Chamber of Commerce meeting they've ever been a part of, and it was just so fantastic, I said, and the NHRA said, "Man, that was so great." I said, "Yeah, I bet you thought that was good." The guy who brought the free tequila and the free race cars to beat up all weekend, like, "Yeah, I bet you do like that," right? and now they're going to let us do it. We're going to start doing that in Indianapolis. We're going to do it at Texas Motorplex. So we're taking the program around and kind of utilizing it to work with our existing clientele within these cities, bring them to the racetrack, expose them to drag racing, of course, let them try some amazing tequila once it's all said and done. And it's really making for some amazing B2B.
After the racing guy.
Well, when they're passengers, they can do whatever they want. Ryan was totally sober racing. So
Of course. Ryan, good luck this year. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you. And I'm excited. You got me excited about your program.
Well,
that's what this is supposed to be about.
I'm excited this year, too.
All right.
So thanks, guys.
Ryan Ayler. All right, so we had a little bit of a software issue, which was fixed thanks to you guys. I appreciate all of you out there, and I apologize early on, like we were getting audio from one thing, right? Is that no? There we go.
There you go.
There we go. But now we got it fixed.
Okay.
So
awesome.
Give the lottery numbers, the winning lottery numbers, like you gave me, or maybe you shouldn't. Never mind.
No.
Never mind. Never mind.
Just send your requests for financial assistance to Joe starting Sunday morning after the drawing.
Yes, exactly. Oh, look at that. Hi, Maddie. Look up there, Maddie. There she is. Yeah. Maddie Hull. Yeah. You want to?
She knows who she is.
You want to join us over here? Come over here. Yeah. I know how to make a show better. I know. Listen, I apologize to everybody. WFO is, not always. Sit right down here, Maddie.
Sorry, Joe's homeless, so he's got everything he owns in that bag.
My whole bag. You can just sit down here. You're gonna place this on your head. Yes, and we're gonna place that on your head, and we're gonna bring that.
I married Buddy, right?
This is Mrs. Buddy Hull, But that's right. You're now a drag race wife.
How did he talk you into that?
Yes, let's get to the real stuff. How did this happen?
So he proposed in December.
Okay.
And I kind of thought it was coming, but I didn't know for sure because I picked out the ring, actually. I bought it. I didn't buy it, but he did, but I picked it out.
That one, dude.
Yeah.
Don't blow it.
He actually bought the ring in front of me, and I didn't know.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Squirrel.
Squirrel, yeah.
And then, well, congratulations. Like,
Thank
I
you.
think that's
Yeah.
tremendous. You guys are perfect for each other.
Yeah, we were like.
You always wanted a funny car guy.
Right. I don't like the dragsters anyway.
What do you think of that, Alan?
Sorry.
I think that.
And you know, my uncle drives a dragster.
Well, I just think Buddy's lucky that he made the switch. It's like, hey, what are you going to do this year, honey? Well, I'm driving a dragster again. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here he is right here. I'm a
There
big
it is.
deal. I'm getting
That's
interviewed
it. That's
now.
it. Drag Race Wives. That's
Drag Race Wives.
that's what it is. It's a new reality show that we just thought of right now.
Yeah,
It's
so
going to be great.
We didn't wait to get married.
So, who was your favorite funny car driver until just recently? Not that I'm trying to get you in any trouble or anything.
John Force.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up at the racetrack because my grandparents owned Woodburn.
Right.
So, you know, every time I went to the track, everyone always, John Force this, John Force that. So I grew up all about John Force. And he's a legend.
I think all of us, right?
He's a
Right?
legend,
Like,
literally. I think that's the best answer I could possibly say without getting in trouble, right?
When Moses was a kid going to the racetrack, they're going, look, it's John Force.
Right.
I mean, he's been out there a while.
The
But
tablets.
now it's Buddy Hull.
How's he going to do, Maddie?
Oh, he's going to do great.
I think so too.
Yeah, he's on the practice tree every single day. Probably
Wow.
4 hours a day. No lie. In the morning, 5 a.m., he comes downstairs, gets coffee. He's on the practice tree. And then before we go to bed, he's downstairs on the practice tree while I'm upstairs waiting for him. Yeah.
Well, he's not very bright.
I'm just going to let that one just float away. Just let it go.
On
Let's
the
go.
practice tree all day, every day.
That's excellent.
Yeah, so he's going to be the best race car driver that he can be this
We'd love
year.
to see Big Jim Dunn get a win.
Oh, yeah.
That's
And
I
he
think
really
that's
wants to win.
super popular storyline floating out there for 2024.
Yeah,
It
and
has
Buddy
been a
wants
while.
to win. Yeah, Buddy wants to win, too.
I have no doubts. The
Yeah.
guy has been real successful. All right, I didn't want to drag you in on the show, but
Yes,
since
you
you're
did.
here, yeah,
Since I'm here, I
this
had
is
to,
this kind of atmosphere, right?
yeah,
And there
look
he
at
is.
The
And we'll
supportive husband is taking
we'll get-
pictures of me right now.
swap spots with Buddy.
Yeah, here
There
you
he is.
come.
Come on
take it.
over.
The
Come on
big-
over,
the big
buddy.
shots coming
The
back.
big shot. He's big. He's going to take a shot. And look at this crowd out here, Reinhart. Like this is what I should be doing. If I got to learn how to work my. Look at this crowd.
Instead of turning my microphone off, that's what you should be doing.
Oh my gosh, it's like I've never done this before.
Yeah,
It's
it's
been
like
a long
Ricky.
time. It's been a long time. There we go. You know, I should have numbered them. I should have not, I'm always in the studio. What's up, buddy? Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That was good. You put a ring on it.
Oh yeah, yeah. How about it? Can you believe she said yes?
Yes,
I can't believe it.
I can believe
I
it.
was shocked.
No, you guys are cute together. You guys are a good couple.
Yeah, thank you so much.
She
Yeah,
did.
it's a
She
blessing.
did say, however, she didn't really like dragsters. So as long as you were driving a dragster, it was like,
Yeah. It was. She made me switch. Right?
Yeah.
I had to do it. You know what I mean? So no, we got married a couple weeks ago in Las Vegas, and it was an incredible wedding. A lot of very important people to us were there. It was a small wedding, and it was a blessing. It was a
Right
great
on.
time. Yeah.
All right, so this year,
Yeah.
Big
Talk
Jim
about it.
Dunn, funny car driver, total like flipping the script on what we knew from a year ago.
Yeah. Well, most people don't know this about me, but I drove nothing but a car with the engine in front of me for the first 13 years of my racing career. So fuel altered and fuel funny car is the only thing I drove. Not a big show fuel funny car, but nostalgia stuff. So, at a professional level, really no one knew that about me. They only saw me in a top fuel car. But so really, I'm just kind of going back to home. First run, I made the car. Started the car, did the burnout, and backed up, and I was like, okay, I'm back at home. This is where I belong.
Excellent.
so your comfort level already is that high?
Right there.
Right on.
Yeah, I had over 1,200 runs between a fuel altered and a nostalgia funny car before getting to a top fuel car, and so that type of muscle memory and that type of vision, you make that many runs, it just never goes away.
That begs the question: why, after all that, when you decided to do your own deal, did you do a top fuel car instead of a funny
Cost. So there are a couple reasons. First of all, many don't know this, but I was building a big show funny car, which I have. It's sitting in my shop.
car? Okay.
And through that, I was traveling back and forth from Dallas, Texas to Temple, Texas, working with Terry Haddock, and he was having some times and needed a driver for his dragster. He goes, hey, man, you think you'd drive this thing? I said, well, I'm not sure. There's only one way to find out. And so I climbed in the thing in a funny car chaos and right down the track. And then Terry started plugging me in for races. And, that one thing led to another. And then I bought a, top fuel car from Tim. And I was in Top Fuel for 3.5 years. So.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't know that whole backstory. That's cool.
Yeah, but there's I have a fuel funny car. Yeah.
Can I tune it? Joe's going to drive it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, I think Joe can handle it.
What?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Always say yes. That's the answer. Yes, and right. That's right.
You can't be afraid of fires, and you can't be afraid of clutch dust. It'll be fine.
Well, I'm tuning it. I'm not afraid of either of those things.
I just went 184 the other day. My personal best speed.
What'd you drive?
A top dragster.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What'd you think?
I thought it was fast.
Yeah.
And I thought of you guys right away. It's like, okay, so I'm going 184 to the quarter mile. These guys are going 330 to 1,000 foot. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. It just
does not compute.
It does not compute. It doesn't compute. And I was, feeling it and gained like run 3 compared to run 1. All right, I felt it slow down a little.
Yeah.
So I can see how it would eventually slow down and you would adapt, but it's still nuts. Come on now.
So it's all relative. Relative, meaning, every level you move up and go quicker and faster, your body, gets used to it. It becomes accustomed to it, right? It's like when you hear a guy like, Mike Tyson interview, about boxing, and when you hear Floyd Mayweather, they'll tell you, yeah, I saw that punch coming. Well, for us three to see a punch coming, if even from each other, we ain't gonna see it coming. We're not skilled like that. But those guys, they've seen so many punches, they've spent so much time sparring, they've been in the ring so many times, they are able to read body language and literally slow it down and read the punch. Or you talk about a really good hitter in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
They say they can read the letters on the ball. Well, us three can't do that. Well, it's the same exact thing driving over 300 miles an hour. You get to a point where you can literally, if you decide that you want to be able to pick something out on the racetrack, you can, and I personally drive by counting blocks. That's in my head. Every time I pass a block, I count. That's how I know where I'm at on the racetrack. So if my crew chief says shut it off at half track, well, then I know where half track's at, because as blocks are going by, I'm counting them. So it's just something I've always done. So anyway, your body slows it down. It's all relative. 185 miles an hour. That is fast. That's really cool. But you would be surprised after you go 185 miles an hour, probably say 40, 50 times, 185 miles an hour is not fast anymore.
When Johnny Gray got his funny car license, he was driving Paul Smith's car.
Yeah.
And they went someplace and he made a run and they come back and Paul says, man, he drove that thing a little far. And Johnny says, I shut it off when I get to the finish line. When I got to the finish line. And he said, well, you were 1,500 in it. And he said, I don't know where the car was. He said, when my brain got to the finish line, I shut it off. Yep. And the same thing. It took a couple of runs before he realized, okay, here's where we are now, because it was happening so fast. But it was like there went the scoreboards, and if you got your foot on the gas, you're at 1,500 feet. Yep. So you just
amazing. Yeah. So I'll take the gig. Reinhart will tune.
Yeah.
And
how many parts do you have? We're gonna need a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good at parts. Just you guys better start working on sponsorships.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. We got it.
We got WFO in for $2.5 million.
That's it. Yeah. WFO in for a couple million. Yeah, you'll be fine.
So subscribe on patreon.com/WFO radio if you want to help out this project.
Price
and
just
some
went
behind the scenes content where the audio is usually really good.
Only 50,000 a year.
That's it. We can do it.
We
can do it. We got great sponsors. Buddy, thank you.
No, thank you.
Go sign some autographs, hang out.
I really appreciate you guys both. Thanks for being here. And it's always great seeing you both.
Looking forward to seeing you out there in a funny car.
Yes, sir. We're ready to rock and roll.
Excellent. Reinhart, final thought. You got anything you want to say? I'm going to wrap this bad boy up.
Just for anybody that had ever considered, gee, maybe I'll go by and see that BURNYZZ deal sometime, you need to put it on your to-do list. What Josh has for a company is amazing, but the car show, obviously the community, a lot of support out here behind him, live music, food trucks, all the stuff, and the cars are amazing. You literally walk by and go, oh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. And I don't know of another autograph session where this many of the stars come to the same place. I mean, when we do Vegas, we have pretty good turnout. There are a couple other ones that have pretty good turnout, but I don't think even those rival this. And I don't know, does your camera show the large father over here?
A certain swamp rat.
Yeah.
Happens to be right there. That's like royalty, right? Like, do you get that feeling? Like Garlitz walks in the building, and all of a sudden, it's like, oh, yeah. No,
it's like everybody else's popularity just went down a little.
Big Daddy, baby. Alan, good luck this year.
Thank you.
We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, look, it's Jacob from NHRA's social media team doing the deal. And yeah, man, we're about to get to work. And so we will sign off. Thank you very much, Alan. Appreciate you greatly. And let me tell you, folks, WFO Radio happens each week. Our audio is normally great. I apologize for our little software issue, but live stuff, it happens. And Matt in Australia could hear, and so that works for me. We are on every week. We do Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, but of course, you just subscribe on YouTube, and we'll make sure everything is absolutely correct. Everybody loves it. Yeah, Big Daddy, everybody sees him. Just have a look. Have a look at the line that is forming out there for our autograph session. I do want to thank each and every one of you, and this is only possible because of the people I'm about to tell you about real briefly. Right, guys? Check this out. These are our WFO Radio sponsors. Total Seal Piston Rings, FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters, Foggit, F-O-G-G-I-T, Foggit is a spray for the inside of your engine, a racing engine to protect it, but really it inhibits rust on many different things. BURNYZZ Speed Shop right here in BURNYZZ. Josh Hart, Brittany Hart doing such a great job. CWT Industries, those are balance machines. If it rotates, it can be balanced. So you need a balance machine from CWT. Whatever you've got, it's probably old and antiquated. The new stuff works better, quicker, faster. It's like printing money because it works so much better, quicker, and faster. And, of course, the folks at Phillips-Connect.com. Plus Marvin Rodak, Frank Hawley's, and samtech.edu. You coffee files out there, you got to try a little Marvin Rodak. I'm going to go hand out some WFO Radio stickers and MC this deal. And so the drivers are coming in. There's a little Josh Hart. Everybody's getting signed in and ready. And I just want to say thank you so much to everybody out there in the WFO universe. We really appreciate you guys. We'll be back next week on WFO Radio TV. Remember, we're now available on PowerTube TV, but we're going to be back with the winners of the Gatornationals. The final results of the Gatornationals will be on WFO Radio. And, of course, lock in your NHRA. Please lock in your NHRA.TV subscription and test it tomorrow. Okay, because on Friday, everybody is like, my password, blah, blah, blah. Like, you want to get it locked in and done right away. All right, guys, appreciate all of you. We'll see you next time on WFO Radio.
This is WFO Radio.